There are 41 charms in Hollow Knight. I put myself through the pain to make a video about each one, and if I would consider using them, there are technically 40, but I'll be counting Grimchild and Carefree Melody separately. Drop future video ideas down in the comments, as it ensures that I have a video to work on. Anyways, let's start. It's good for your first playthrough or two, but when you get used to the map, it's completely useless. Plus, early game the price is pretty expensive. If you're worried about losing Geo, this charm is for you. It brings any loose Geo straight to you, which is great to save for something expensive like the Lumafly Lantern. For 2 notches, this charm is horrible. It's good if you're an aggressive player, but is extremely bad if you're not. You could literally use these 2 notches on anything else, and get something better than 0.01 second extra damage immunity. This is a pretty good charm, as you can use the extra soul for spells and healing. In my opinion, this charm is worth the notches. This charm is amazing for spell builds, no explanation needed. For 3 notches, much more spell damage feels way too good to be true. I would use this charm any day, even if it was for notches. Although it gives more soul than Soul Catcher, the notch amount is horrible, to say the least. If used for a boss, it can be life-saving if you know what you're doing. This is perfect for exploration, but is almost useless in fights unless you're using Sharp Shadow, which doesn't do much damage. Pair this with Sprint Master, and you'll be faster than ever, and I'm not joking when I say that. It's hard to notice at first, but this charm is great for exploring. You do obtain access to this charm quite late into the game, however, so you probably have faster transportation unlocked. For survival loadouts, Grub Song is great as it lets you recover soul, so you can use it to attack or heal. If you like staying far from danger, but want to stay aggressive, Grubberfliz Elegy is perfect. You do have to stay on full health, however, so you have to be very careful. This is great, as it allows for an extra 2 or 1 if you're unlucky enough to get hit by a double damage attack. If you're clumsy, make it unbreakable as soon as possible. This charm is undoubtedly one of the worst charms in the game. It doesn't affect the Colosseum of Fools, and is barely used by anyone. I do not suggest making this charm unbreakable. Despite being 3 notches, this charm is worth making unbreakable. It's basically the nail version of Shaman Stone, except this does more damage and makes bosses much easier. If this is paired with Shaman Stone, you're basically the Grim Reaper of Hollow Knight. This is useless for some bosses, but great for bosses like Massive Moss Tart, No Eyes, and the Radiance. Unlike Steady Body, Heavy Blow pushes the target further from you, which can be a pain for bosses like the Watcher Knights. No matter your playstyle, this charm is perfect for dealing damage. Quick Slash is the core of any nail build since it allows you to attack almost twice as fast than the base nail cooldown of 0.42 seconds. Despite increasing nail range, Long Nail is quite bad if not paired with another good nail charm like Fragile or Unbreakable Strength. This is much better than Long Nail, as it only costs 1 extra notch for just over double increased range added than Long Nail adds. Paired together, Mark of Pride and Long Nail are great. Considering the risk and damage increase, Fury of the Fallen is great if you're careful of your surroundings. It's good until you reach late game, where you get to stronger enemies, which naturally means it doesn't help much. This is amazing until it breaks, meaning you need to rest at a bench for it to be used again. If you want to deal more damage, this turns Vengeful Spirit into a high damage but short-ranged attack. However, I think that Flickness is not worth 3 notches. The Defender's Crest is useless most of the time, but the best charm when it comes to fighting Broken Vessel and Lost Kin to protect. yourself from the infected balloons they can spawn. Glowing Womb is just Carefree Melody, but 5 times worse. It drains your soul. The hatchlings do the bare minimum, and you could use the 2 notches for something better. This is great, and has saved me several times. This is great for any boss, and is extremely reliable. Deep Focus is alright if you're going against a slow boss. However, 4 notches is horrendous for something as risky as Deep Focus. Outside of Godhome, this charm is horrendous. Only 2 lifeblood masks. Every bench you sit at for 2 notches is beyond horrendous. This is just Lifeblood Heart, but slightly better, and an extra notch. Do I even need to explain why this is bad? Outside of the White Palace, Hive Blood is pretty bad. Unlike other items, you have to beat a boss for this charm, which has a long runback. With Shape of Un, you can literally use this to deliver mini nukes. If you naturally shade dash through enemies, this is great to keep dealing damage. If you don't have quick focus, this is a great replacement. It could be hard to use it with the agile boss though, so it's not the best. If you mainly use nail arts for damage, this is perfect. It heavily increases the damage and the window, though it is not affected by fragile or unbreakable strength. This charm is just Glowing Womb, but the hatchlings can't fly. This is amazing. You don't need much essence for the seer to give it. It's great for False Knight and Failed Champion, and it only costs 1 notch. This is just Carefree Melody, but worse. It only protects you about 1/10 of the time, and does barely any damage. This charm is extremely fun to use, until you realize that you have to replace it with Carefree Melody for 112%. It's a very rewarding charm, as you have to work to become more powerful. This is easily one of the best charms Team Cherry has made. Starting at 2% to dodge incoming damage, but given 10% for every mask lost, is a great way to balance a charm. If you're not going for the dream, no more ending, do not make it turn to Voidheart. If you know how to use it, Kingsel is great for the Colosseum of Fools. However, 5 notches is a bit much, but still worth it. I am not going to rank all 41 charms for my own sanity, so I'll rank what I think are the top 10 charms. You may have different opinions, but this is what my opinion is. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider sharing and subscribing. Drop your future video ideas in the comments, and bye.